All right, let's talk about this. Have you ever used an app and it just clicks? It feels like it was made just for you. And then you've got the other kind, the ones that make you want to just toss your phone out the window. So, what's the secret? It's not just about pretty buttons or cool animations. It's way, way deeper than that. It's all about truly understanding the product you're building. And today, we're going to break down exactly what that means. Let's jump in.
You know the drill, right? You see this ad for some game-changing new product, you get all hyped up, you download it, and it's a mess. The whole thing is confusing, half the features don't work like you'd expect, and you're just left feeling kind of let down. It happens all the time. But here's the thing, it's not because the idea was bad. The problem is almost always something else entirely.
The real issue? So many people jump straight to the fun stuff. Picking out colors, fonts, making cool animations. But that's like trying to paint the walls of a house before you've even poured the concrete for the foundation. It's just not going to work. Before you draw a single pixel, you have to build a rock-solid foundation of understanding. And that's what we're going to build together, step by step.
Okay, so how do we actually build this super strong foundation? Well, it all boils down to what I call the 5 pillars. Think of these as the absolute non-negotiables, the core things you have to get right for any successful product. If you can master these 5, you are absolutely on the right track to creating experiences that people will not only use, but love.
First up, pillar number 1, the business goals. Now, I know, this doesn't sound like the most exciting design topic, but trust me, it is the most important. Because, let's be real, if your amazing design doesn't help the business succeed, then what's the point? So before you do anything, you have to get to the why. What are we actually trying to achieve here? Is it about making more money? Getting more users? Something else? You've got to know.
And you can't be vague about it. A goal like make more money is useless. You need something concrete, something measurable. A goal like this one, increase monthly subscriptions by 15% in the next quarter, that's a designer's best friend. Why? Because it gives you a North Star. Now you're not just designing a sign-up page, you're engineering an experience that is laser-focused on turning a visitor into a subscriber. Every single choice you make suddenly has a purpose.
Okay, pillar number 2 is all about empathy. It's about getting out of your own head and into the world of your users. Because here's a little secret. You are not the user. The things you like, the way you think, your tech skills, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is what your users need, what they want, and what's currently driving them nuts. To build a great product, you have to be obsessed with understanding people.
So let's make this real. Imagine this is your target audience. This isn't just a label, it's a whole story. You can practically feel the stress, right? Someone juggling a crazy work schedule, desperate to eat healthy, but with zero time to actually cook. When you have this clear picture, you're not just designing a food app anymore, you're creating a lifeline. You're solving a real, painful problem for a real person.
Pillar number 3, this one's fun. It's about mapping out the user's entire adventure with your product, from the very first moment they hear about it all the way to them successfully getting what they came for. This isn't just a series of clicks, it's a narrative. And when you understand that story, you can spot all the potential roadblocks, confusing parts, and frustrating dead ends before your users ever do.
Now this might look simple, but breaking it down like this is incredibly powerful. It forces you to ask the right questions. How are people even finding us in the first place? Is our sign-up process super smooth, or is it a pain? Can they actually do the main thing they came here to do? And this is a big one, are we giving them a reason to come back? When you optimize each of these steps, the entire experience just flows. It feels effortless.
On to pillar number 4, competitor analysis. You got to know what else is out there. I mean, your users have choices, right? And if your product isn't offering something better, they'll just go somewhere else. So you have to do your homework. Get in there and use your competitors' products. What are they absolutely nailing? Where are they dropping the ball? And where are the hidden opportunities for you to do something amazing?
For example, maybe you're building an e-commerce site. You find that competitor A has this amazing seamless checkout, but their site is impossible to navigate. Meanwhile, competitor B has a beautiful, easy-to-browse site, but buying something is a total nightmare. Boom! There's your opening. You can create a product that takes the best of both worlds and leaves them in the dust. That's how you innovate.
And our final pillar, number 5, brand consistency. This is all about making sure your product feels right. It's not just a random collection of screens, it's the face of your brand. And if the design feels disconnected from the company's personality, it just creates this weird, confusing vibe that erodes trust. Every color, every font, every word needs to feel like it's coming from the same place.
Just think about it. If you open a banking app,
You expect it to feel serious, secure, and professional, right? You don't want silly fonts and bright, flashy colors. But if you're designing an app for kids, you want the exact opposite. It should be fun and playful. Consistency isn't just about looking pretty. It's about setting the right emotional tone and making your users feel like they're in good hands.
Okay, so we've got our 5 pillars. We know what information we need to build our foundation. But the big question is, how do we actually get it? That's where these 4 essential strategies come into play. These are the practical, hands-on techniques you'll use to uncover all those juicy insights.
You have to understand that there are always 2 sides to the coin, the business side and the user side. You get the business side by talking to stakeholders, understanding their goals, their limits, their vision. You get the user side by doing user research, watching real people, listening to their problems, and understanding their world. You absolutely need both. Trying to design with only one is like trying to clap with one hand. It just doesn't work.
And talking to people is just the start. You need a whole arsenal of research methods. Usability testing, where you actually watch someone try to use your prototype, is an absolute goldmine. You'll learn more in 1 hour of testing than in weeks of guessing. Surveys are great for getting big-picture numbers. And of course, you always have to keep your finger on the pulse of your industry. Things change fast, and you've got to stay sharp.
So there it is, the complete UX blueprint. When you combine those 5 pillars of understanding with these 4 research strategies, you have a repeatable framework for success. This isn't just a checklist, it's a mindset. It's a fundamental shift to putting the user and the business goals at the absolute center of every single thing you do.
So from now on, before you even think about opening Figma or Sketch, I want you to run through this simple checklist. Have you clarified the business goals? Check. Do you truly know your user? Check. Have you mapped out their journey? Check. Have you checked out the competition? And have you made sure everything aligns with the brand? If you can confidently say yes to all 5, then my friend, you are ready to design.
So as you head back to whatever you're working on, I want you to think about this. Be honest with yourself. Which of these pillars have you been kind of skipping over? And what's just one thing you can do this week to start building a stronger foundation? Because I promise you, asking the right question at the very beginning can literally change the entire outcome of a project.